This video is sponsored by Google. So they wanted me to talk about the photography features of the Google Pixel 7, specifically the Magic Eraser tool and the Photo Unblur tool. And I thought, wait a minute, this will be perfect because I've used both of those tools extensively on my trip last year to Korea. I just used them for a lot of the photos that I took there. So I thought the best way to do this video is just to show you how I use those things on that trip. Okay, so let's start off with the Magic Eraser, because this feature is one of the main reasons why I even brought this phone to Korea in the first place. So it's a tool that uses machine learning to select unwanted or distracting elements in your photo and then removes them. So when I was on the trip, I would take a bunch of photos and then I'd be looking at them in the Photos app, just kind of looking at the shots I'd just taken. And oftentimes I would find photos where there was a person or a group of people or sometimes objects that just kind of took away from the shot. And I would just want that stuff gone. So if you go to Edit and then Tools, you can see the Magic Eraser feature. And if you tap it, it'll examine or kind of process your photo, and then it'll make some suggestions by highlighting certain elements that you might want removed from the photos. Now, sometimes the suggested edit nails it, right? And the photo looks awesome right after it, but sometimes it's overly aggressive, sometimes it's not aggressive enough, and it leaves objects or people behind that it thought you wanted in the photo, but you can always adjust it manually. You can go in, you can circle things or brush over them to remove it. The manual tweaking doesn't have to be perfect, like as long as it's roughly over the object, the tool can use AI to fill in the area. It can sometimes leave some visual imperfections, but you're not pixel peeping your vacation photos, right? These are for memories, and they're just better memories with cleaned up photos. But overall, I find this Magic Eraser tool to be really useful because oftentimes you just cannot take shots of stuff out there without a bunch of people in the scene just kind of photobombing your shots. It's not intentional, right? It's just the way that popular places are. There's a lot of people. And with this tool, you can clean up a lot of photos with just a couple of taps right on your phone. You don't need any kind of third-party downloads. And that's the thing, right? You can do a lot of this stuff using like Photoshop on a computer or just other apps you get on your phone. But to have it baked into your phone on the stock Google Photos app, it's so convenient. It's not perfect, like sometimes it can leave behind some artifacts, and if you magic erase the same spot over and over again, it can start to look a little weird, but more often than not, you'll be able to use it to clean up images. And it's non-destructive in the sense that if you make any edits, you can always undo it, and even when you save that finalized edit, it saves it as a new file. It doesn't overwrite the original. There's also a camouflage app in there, so you can use it to change the colors of specific objects so they don't stand out as much. It's more of a stylistic tool, but again, it's built right into the Google Photos app. Okay, the other feature that's really awesome is the Photo Unblur tool. So this takes a blurry image and then it tries to reconstruct it using AI to make it a little bit sharper. So some of the photos I took in Korea came out a little soft. Either my kids were running around or I wasn't able to hold the camera perfectly still, but they just weren't as sharp as I was hoping them to be. But with this tool, you can salvage some of them. So if you want to sharpen up a blurry shot, you go to Edit and then Tools, and then there's an Unblur tool. And when you tap it, it takes a couple seconds to analyze the shot, and then it applies that machine learned unblurring. So it applies it at full strength to start, but you can dial it down depending on how much unblurring you want. I do find that if you let it go to full blast, it starts to look a little artificial depending on the shot. So usually I have it turned down to like 60 to 70% at most. Now sometimes the unblurred shots come out awesome, like this one. This is one of my favorite pics from the trip and was salvaged from Photo Unblur. But sometimes, like this image here, there's no hope. The original image was just so cooked that there's no way you can save it. But again, these tools are baked right into the phone. I think that's like the best feature, right? You're already on your phone in the Google Photos app looking at photos anyway. And if you see something that just looks a little bit out of place and you just want some tweaking, the tools are right there. The Photo Unblur or the Magic Eraser tool, or sometimes both at the same time if you need them. They're very powerful tools. But these camera features are also available on any other Google Pixel phone. You can use that link above to go directly to the Google Photos app and play around with it there. Also, all of this stuff can be done with other people's photos. Like if you have family or friends that are on different phones, they can send you their photos, you can do the tweaks on your device, and then send them back. I did that a lot when I was in Korea. Okay, there you have it. If you want more information about any of the stuff I talked about or the phone itself, it'll be linked down below in the description. Okay, thanks for watching.